Good day, everyone. This is my discussion about Stephen Karshin's second language acquisition hypothesis. Who is Stephen Karshin? He is a second language acquisition teacher and professor of the University of Southern California who has been publishing and speaking since the 1980s. According to him, language acquisition does not require extensive use of grammatical rule and does not require tedious drill. There are five main hypotheses of his theory. First is the acquisition learning hypothesis. Second is the monitor hypothesis. Third is the natural order hypothesis. Fourth is the input hypothesis. And last is the affective failure hypothesis. First hypothesis is acquisition learning hypothesis. According to this hypothesis, students will learn more language through acquisition than through learned language. There are two systems of this hypothesis, acquired and learned. What are the difference between acquired and learned? Acquired is the products of subconscious process, meaningful interaction, target language, and natural communication, while learned is a product of conscious process, formal interaction, and less important than acquisition. Next hypothesis is the monitor hypothesis. According to Karshan, the acquisition system is the uterance initiator, while the system learning performs the role of the monitor and editor. The monitor helps a person polish their speech or writing or may be overused. Usually, extrovert and underuser of the monitor, while introvert and perfectionist are the overusers. Also, monitor hypothesis help us to avoid errors and change the output of acquired system. Example of this is computer spell checking. Next is natural order hypothesis. For any given language, some grammatical structure tend to be acquired early while others late. This does not mean that teachers should delay introducing this language structure because students will not reliably reproduce them until later. Students need more repeated exposure to natural sounding language input over language time to acquire these elements of the target language. This means that grammatical structures follow a predictable natural order. Next is the input hypothesis. The learner progresses along natural order as he or she receives second language input. This is one steps beyond his or her current linguistic competence. If learner already has acquired more language through exposure to comprehensible input, Karshins believe that natural communicative input will provide all learners with I+1 regardless of each learner current level of competence. This means that students will acquire a second language when input is provided one step beyond their current stage of linguistic competence. The last is the affective failure hypothesis. Karshan claims that learners with low motivation, low self-esteem, and or debilitating anxiety can risk the affective failure hypothesis from mental block to their progress. Teachers will want to plan the lesson that reduce these hindrances by providing interesting or even compelling content and by not shaming learners for errors or using correction techniques that can use anxiety. This means that students will learn better with a high level of motivation and self-confidence rather than a high anxiety. That would be all. Thank you.